Hello, my dear ones. Well, it's not as cold this morning. You see in the news where the CDC is getting rid of, 6 or 7 vaccines for our children? Now they only recommend 11. Imagine 11 toxic vaccines. Polio is still recommended. Marco, you should have that red banner up there going, "Ugh." I mean, it's insane. Insanity, this medical consciousness and this the idea of antibiotics and vaccines and things like this. You got to learn to protect yourself. Ran out of time on that last video. I apologize, but this lady's hurting. When you remove 26 lymph nodes in your neck, you're in trouble. And we were just having a discussion about this earlier. They have these international symposiums. We had it yearly in Portugal, and I represented the United States. And it's generally speakers from every modality and talking about health and whatever in that field. But the medical have their symposiums. And this was an international lymphologist symposium on lymph research around the world on the lymphatic system. And I think we've talked about this before, but so relatable. So listen to this one research group, and they found this 3-head macrophage that nobody was trying to figure out what they didn't even know what it meant. And then there was this one lady, and this is the one that gets me, that just, it's almost like the top head of the American Medical Society or Association said, when asked by 60 Minutes, what do you tell the public how to protect themselves when a medical doctor is known to harm more people than allowed, which is a lot. And he said, let buyer beware. Goes along that same line. So this lady was talking about her research, and she says, we know when we remove lymph nodes, you're going to have lymphedema. Really? When you cut your sewer system pipes or you remove your septic system, the picture is not good, especially if you can picture this. When you flush your toilet, all your waste go out into a septic tank, or if you're in a high-class area or whatever, everybody's sewage goes into a collection pot somewhere. Right? But say you have a septic tank in your yard. Well, all your waste go out into the septic tank, right? Your liquids go out into what's called a drain field, and they're going down to the aquifers and hopefully purified by the time it gets there. But your solids then are acted upon by microorganisms, bacterium and the like, right? So, and then they break that down. So it takes years for a septic tank to fill up if you have right bacteria in it. So, number one, taking an antibiotic is like killing the bacteria in your septic tank. So your septic tank gets full 1,000 times faster, if not 1,000,000 times faster, because there's nothing breaking down the solids. Then there's the other analogy of removing your septic tank, but you keep using and flushing your toilet. What do you think is going to happen in your house? So we call that lymphedema in this house. And so she said, yes, we acknowledge that when we remove lymph nodes, you're going to have lymphedema. Even if they're damaged or we cut them by mistake or you damage them, whatever, with trauma and stuff like that, you're going to see lymphedema. Of course. She said, but we now know that we can remove a healthy lymph node in this part of the body and move it to the lymphedemic part of the body. And I'm sitting there listening to this lady talking in this symposium. I forget what country she's from. And I said, do you listen to yourself? Listen to yourself. When you remove lymph nodes, you have lymphedema. But you can take a lymph node from a healthy part of your body and move it to where you're having lymphedema problems. Oh, but that's okay where I removed it. It'll take a while to get lymphedemic. I mean, that's the kind of insanity there is out there, and you've got to learn how to fix your lymphatic system. And this is a lipid-based system that goes everywhere there's blood. And common sense, pull away. Some of you professionals have to pull away from these physiology books. Me and Pat have been going over that. I'm going to answer some questions this one lady asked about the lymphatic system and the right and left trunks and how they dump in the inferior vena cava and crap like that. Because you're not going to find your answers in some of these books because they're theories. They're theories. We can prove that the kidneys need to filter because we can demonstrate through clinicals, 51 years of me and all you guys, we can prove that when you don't filter, you can't remove tumors. But when you start to filter, you remove tumors. Oh, wow. And that filtration in the kidneys does not mean infection. That's your waste, your sewer system. You don't remove lymph nodes when they're swollen because that means they're backed up, but they don't have an idea of how this lymphatic system doesn't have eliminative organs like blood doesn't have eliminative organs, so it's all tied in a closed system. Really? So sewer systems don't have eliminative way out of the house? Your water pipes don't, but that's your kitchen. And imagine your water, you lived in a house, and that's all you couldn't get out of the house, and your water pipes were your nutritional food. That's your food. It carried everything in that system for you. But then your sewer system dumps its waste from the cells using all of this back into that system. To what now? And if you claim the spleen cleans the blood, then, well, wait a minute, how does the spleen get rid of the waste? It must dump it back into the sewer system. No, yeah, it's part of the sewer system, but then the sewer system dumps itself back in the kitchen. I mean, the idiocy of this level of thinking is as bad as that buyer beware. We just want your money. It doesn't make sense, but who cares? We know what we're talking about. That's pseudoscience. And I don't buy into pseudoscience. Actual science, two sides of chemistry. Chemistry is a science. How you apply that, your concepts and perceptions about this is what you do with it. And that's where our problem is. Some of these scientists take the facts, the basic facts of chemistry and turn them all around. Don't apply them correctly. Acids are acids, bases are bases. And you don't bump acids into a kitchen like that. That doesn't make any sense because they already on one side says you can't lower the pH of the blood, but dumping acid waste from your cells will do that, right? Absolutely. Electron, proton, homeostasis, however you want to define what's going on there. And it's like, you guys are nutcase. You don't even know, you can't even figure anything out. And that's because simplicity is scary for some people, for the intellectual. Oh, that's too simple. Sometimes you have to pull back from something and look at things more common sense. Simplicity often means common sense. So the next time you go into surgery and you want to have your lymph nodes removed or you want to let that surgeon have free rein, and you better rethink that. Like that case I told you about, the lady that had the right breast cancer, removed the right kidney, and had an elephant right leg. These are serious atrocities against the human race. It's like a modality that doesn't understand anything, and so they just play. Doesn't matter. And it's just ridiculous. I love a good surgeon, but there are some wacko surgeons that can ruin your life. And so this understanding of the lymph system has to expand itself. So I feel sorry for these people. And then you saw what happens with the biopsy. You saw that guy? He had to stand in the corner on his head to get pain-free because 500 milligrams of morphine wouldn't even do it. That's how much pain he was in. He was perfect. Perfect as I am, at least right now. And his jaw this is where the tumor originated. We rebuilt that and everything else. It was just a little nodule, and that was the end result, and I could not cure him. He was total grapes, everything perfect, couldn't cure him. And anytime I put the lymphatic system, a draw on the lymphatic system, the pain was unbelievable. Explain that. You know, sometimes leave things alone. And this is Kathy. She's a female, 54. She's 5'7", 155 pounds. She has acid reflux, pericardial cyst, long COVID. Wow. Menopause. Well, if you have a long COVID, you have a hell of a what? Lymphatic system, a sewer system backed up there. Because you have acid reflux, that sort of thing. And so in an acid reflux, we've got our new acid relief formula coming. The tea is due here Thursday. Just really soothe the GI tract. But remember, a lot of this acid reflux is coming from internal, inside, out. That's why you get ulcerations and stuff like that through the gut, stuff like this, interstitial. So the byproduct of waste from cell metabolism, from kinetic activity in the body, cellular activity, are predominantly acids. They're not alkalis, they're predominantly acids, right? And then you add that on top of diets that are acid forming, and you've got acid on top of acid on top of acid, and nothing is happy with acid on top of acid on top of acids. Just burn you deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you have an acid reflux, botanicals are perfect for teas. We have a stomach tea, things like that. All this is great. Our new acid relief is really great. Great for all types of acidosis throughout the body. At the same time, you have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your diet, right? Right. You have to watch your food combinations, because all foods don't combine together. If you listen to the American Dietetics Association, yeah, you have the 4 or 5 basic food groups, eat them all together. A little bit of meat, a little bit of starch, a little bit of this. Really? They don't even combine together. And then have a little fruit as dessert. I'll put a little fruit on top of food that are sitting there for hours to digest. And not even digesting if you combine starch and protein. A sandwich does not digest well. You have an alkaline issue with the starch, and you have an acid issue with the protein. And you combine an acid with an alkali, and what happens? They neutralize each other. Now you have fermentation and putrefaction starting. And that's where in comes the bacterium and the fungi people. You know, you can't do it. But nobody thinks about that sort of thing. The natural hygienic people are probably the number one group that put the attention on that. I've got charts around here to show that. Well, yeah, there's one. Food combining for health. I think we sell these, or some like them, or you can get them online or whatever. But it shows you which combines with what. Oh, somebody probably figured it, but I had one. No, this is just a copy of the same one. But I've got the one from the American Cancer Society that points to the fact that a raw food diet will help reduce your risk. So that sort of thing will help you get out of that sort of thing. But go after your kidneys, go after your lymphatic system. You go after the acid system in the body and get those kidneys to filter. Filtration of the kidneys are key number one, and I'll stand on that till the death of my body. We've just had so much clinicals and so much evidence of that, and a lot of you guys have proved this over and over to yourselves. It's amazing. I'm 54 years old and never really encountered any health problems previously in my life. That's pretty good. Yeah. You know, it's hard to see. Does she have a picture of eyes? Oh! Oh! Well, let's take a look. Now, my dear one, I would say that this orange color here is not a normal color, and I'm going to safely say this is acids. or what we call sulfur. So your body's full of fungus. I'm amazed that you haven't. Your genes are pretty good, though, but your lymphatic system is a mess. Here's what your eyes should look like. I'll just grab this one. Pretty close to this, except for that little cholesterol halo here. Holy crap. Your eyes should be nice and blue. See, what's all this white and yellowing? The orange is sulfur. But you're starting to turn into what we call subacute, stagnation of lymph. The white is acute, and you're loaded with it. See this dark ring around the outside of your eye? That's your skin. So that would be suggestive of thyroid. So we're going to be looking right up here and see just a little bit of thyroid, left side. Right side, where are we at? See a little bit here. Not too bad, but a little bit. But your lymph system is a mess, honey. Holy moly, you got lymph nodes swollen in places. You got a little back of the head, left side here, even up into the brain, a little bit in that area. So that's equilibrium, dizzy, vertigo stuff. On the right side, minor there. I would say... yeah, we're probably in the lower lobe of the right lung, bronchial trunk, and a weakness in that area there. And detox, you could get some coughing up from that. You've got some drug deposit in the right breast area. Your right hip. But that's right at the pancreatic area, too. So I'm going to suggest that with the diagnosis of what you said, you have acid reflux. My guess you have very poor digestion. Looky here. This is the pancreatic area. See how dark that looks? But that's right at the right hip as well. So it could be a little of both with that area. But see how that dark? Now see this dark area right here? This one, right, how big this is? That's your groin area. And it's showing that you're not moving lymph well in your groin area. And so you up here where this right femur goes into the hip, you have a little bit of a weakness going on in that. So you want to be careful not to deteriorate that. If I go down that leg, so that, again, a little suggestive of some minor parathyroid. Well, we already know a little thyroid. So we look up here, we see heavy lymphatic problems in the parathyroid glands and in the thyroid, heavy with a little bit of minor genetics involved. Kidneys for sure. There's your kidney on your right side. This area right in here. You can see that there are some weaknesses in that area. Sitting on top of a subacute adrenal. Left side, kidney just a little bit involved, not too bad. But left leg and groin and hip. So again, I'm picking up parathyroid stuff. I go to the left eye, I see parathyroid, thyroid because of skin. So your basal temperature's under your arm, you probably run low. My guess is, when you see a skin ring on somebody, you can pretty much guess that they're running low thyroid, can't sweat well. They tend to be a little colder than warmer. Okay, so this might be below the heart or a little involved in the heart. That right there. 3 o'clock is the heart, but you're real close to that. It's not a normal heart lesion or anything like that. Suggestive of maybe upper chest wall, but got some weaknesses in that. And with the parathyroid look, it's probably upper chest wall over heart. Again, you do show some prolapsing of the colon and a little bit of a ballooning. Matter of fact, take a look at right in here, how you see this ballooning out and then back to normal here. So that's a little ballooning. This is your splenic flexure, and that's prolapsed down a little bit and a little weakness right in that flexure joint. And then you see a little bit of a ballooning of your ascending, your top of your ascending colon. And these are pocketed areas. Again, like a herniation, you're going to think parathyroid, connective tissue weakness. Now, we can get into genetics and stuff like that, but still, you're going to kind of want to look at that sort of thing. But I submit to you, you got a lot of fungal problems. But you've got heavy lymphatic problems. You need to detox. Your sinuses are backed up pretty good. But with this concept of, and I'll say this, you need to clean your gallbladder out and get the liver cleaned out. You have heavy lymphatic problems in your liver and gallbladder area, and some genetics in the gallbladder. So, and that can lead you into all this acid reflux and stuff like that. And these are the areas you want to work on. And that's all. This diet's always the same. You never have to worry about the diet. Fruits, berries, and melons if you want to be really good. And if you don't, you add a salad lunch. Okay, but when you're going after your health, you want 100% raw. You don't want to even have a cooked meal now and then or whatever, if you can maintain that. If you're in a cold climate, you just gotta, to keep warm, then you could use some veggie soups. But herbal teas will warm you up as well. And our herbal teas that are antacid teas, like with marshmallow, slippery elm, our new acid reflux formula, I've got slippery elm, marshmallow, mullein, aloe vera, 1 to 200 concentrate, and some wild yam. So really, really good formula for, and then also a little pick-me-up with progesterone or more alkaline steroids. Woke up one night, was squeezing in my chest very randomly, went to the doctors, and after MRI and CT scans, they saw that I have a 3-inch pericardial cyst. Well, I'm not surprised. You've got a lot of lymph, and cysts are part of the lymphatic system, not part of the blood. It's part of the lymphatic system. And it's just showing you're backed up, which this leads to congestive heart failure, congestive, pulmonary edema, all kinds of stuff like that, holding edemic type issues in the body, and that's not good. You could be holding something, you're only 155 pounds, but you could be holding 10 pounds of water. So a cardiothoracic surgeon who said they could remove it. But the procedure requires pulling out the right lung. Oh! Whoa! Oh. I didn't know that. Damn! Yeah, I'd go, see you next lifetime, because it'll be a lot easier that you go on a detox program. And I'll just use the word detox, hydration detox program, because your lymph needs it all around your body, even in the brain. You need to move your lymphatic system. You're way backed up. And that's just going to breed you tumors in the future and more cysts in the future. But anytime, we were just talking about this morning because I'm very familiar with what happens with lung surgery. And the pain that you're going to go through is unbelievable. Even with cutting the nervous system ablation, you go through that procedure and you will regret it the rest of your life, and you're only 54? Yeah. I have tried grape fasting and it's too difficult for me with my blood sugar. What's wrong with your blood sugar? And why would you have blood sugar problems with grape fasting? If you're having blood sugar problems with grape fasting, you're going to have blood sugar problems with all fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. And that's your what? What would we call that problem, guys? Come on, students. Where's your problem? Oh, the adrenal glands. Oh, and they sit where? On top of the kidneys. Oh, and the kidneys control the lymphatic system, and your lymphatic system looks like a you-know-house mess. You have serious lymphatic problems, sweetheart. And you have no choice. And I'm telling you, work it out, baby. I mean, if you have to go with vegetables and fruits or whatever you have to do, but you have adrenal problems, work on your adrenal glands. Where's your blood pressure at? I have tried grape fasting, blood sugar. My blood sugar seems to drop, and I'm unable to function with my busy work schedule. Use licorice root. Get yourself licorice root and use licorice root. See, and that just goes to show you have serious adrenal gland problems, again, going with the kidneys. But look at your lymphatic system. See the connection? When you're talking adrenal glands, you're talking kidneys, lymphatics, you're talking all your gonadal steroids, you're talking about your mineral utilization, your sugar metabolism. Those adrenal glands do a whole buku bunch for you, and you can have a problem with all the above there. Yeah. Estrogen, progesterones, you can have all kinds of problems with everything like that. Doing lots of grape juices right now and eating vegan, some raw and some steamed vegetables. Okay, I'll buy into that. And hoping that I can work up to doing a great fast. Get the first detox kit. We got them set up now online for you. Get that kit and start going. Start going. Go after those kidneys. Go after your endocrinology. Go after him. That's what's sweet about the herbs. You can do things with the herbs. And that's what you want to start using. You got the diet down good. Now get the herbs down good, because you need a little help getting that cyst out. And that's what the lymphatic formulas do. Tumors, cysts, things like this. But you need that doorway opened of the kidneys. Hoping that I can work up some doing a great fast. Any insight on the eye reading would be very much appreciated. Oh, you betcha, sweetheart. Yep. And if you get that thyroid up, using the endocrine gland formula, you can start sweating. And that's another way of eliminating waste. And the more you can move your lymphatic system, the more the cysts will drain, the tumors will drain, they have a way out. When you see a glomulation, whether you call it a cyst, a tumor, a boil, a pimple, your lymphatic system's backed up, and you're stressing it too much with your diet. I had cysts in the eye, or styes in the eye, because we drank friggin' milk. Nobody knew it was the milk's why I had migraine headaches and styes in the eyes and crap like that. No. Drink more milk. I'm telling you. Well, the medical world has to wake up. They got to quit being the machine that they are, because they're horrible. But you'll be okay. You got good genes, pretty good. But you remember, your eyes want to be nice and blue, sweetie. Nice and blue. Without the cholesterol ring. Don't want that. But it shows you that even with beautiful eyes like that, that the more acidic you become lymphatically, the more the body's going to use cholesterol as a form of protection. And then it becomes a form of threatening, right? And from Debbie, the requested eye pictures from Andrea are below. Oh. Original question is included with an update too. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Debbie. Debbie, you're a peach. Everybody, you got to thank Debbie. She goes through all these questions and answers. She goes through all the videos. I mean, you guys are unbelievable. Marco, Debbie, Nicholas, top of the line, man. Keep working when you do pictures like this. Keep working. Look at that skin ring. The more clarity you can get me in a brown eye, the better. I can read that one pretty good when you look at the difference between that. But you see how this is at a 45-degree angle light? Then you can get these craters. A little more light going across the iris. Let's see here. So instead of holding this up to see, let me just kind of go over this with you guys. I don't know. I don't remember her case, but let's look at this. She's got a ton of nerve rings. All right. So neurologically speaking, you're low. That means your emotional side of your body is a little low. Well, we want to strengthen that up. You ladies want to strengthen up those emotions. You don't want to lose them. You want to still show the guys how to love, but you want to strengthen yourselves up a little bit. This is the adrenal glands. So with the adrenal glands comes the kidneys and just what we talked about earlier, the lymphatic system and everything else. If you look at your eyes, I mean, it's hard for you to see here, but you see that lighter part of her eye, that lighter brown? That's actually the true color of her eye. So all these darker brown areas that you see all through here, they're more heavy lymph. Because once you start cleaning your lymph system, our eyes will get lighter brown, lighter brown, lighter brown until they match this or the inside of a nerve ring, which is that light brown. So one thing you can say is your lymphatic system is backed up. Again, you're showing pancreatic and eyes, probably a little right hip, but pancreatic gallbladder is definitely not a happy fella. You want to think about your gallbladder here. Parathyroid has to be out. Parathyroid involvement for sure, because your right leg is weak. Kidney is chronic. Your right kidney is chronic, dear one. But you then pick up lower back with that, and you see that in there. Top of the neck, C-spine involvement. Jaw. You get back of the head here, back in the mastoid cerebellum. You've got some chronic areas, almost degenerative areas back there. So you got to be real careful. That's your equilibrium, vertigo. When you get up too fast, you get dizzy and whatever. That could come to haunt you there. And with the nerve rings and a cerebellum involvement, you're walking into what medical doctors refer to as ALS and MS and stuff like that. Even when I look at your left eye, you've got things going on in the back of your head up here. You got a skin ring, so that means your skin's not doing as well. And then you go to your parathyroids. Hard to see your thyroid here with these pictures. I apologize with that. But your left kidney, you have what appears to be some degeneration in it. So you want to be careful. It can be rectal wall, but I think it's kidney, to be honest with you. Also, that left leg, a little bit of the hip. I also might say the spleen is a little weak as well. That's about all I can pick up. Definitely pituitary. Definitely got pituitary issues going on here. You got several radius solaris coming up off of this transverse colon, mid-transverse bow, up into the brain. Yeah. So So what are we talking about? Update. So this case, she's from Albania. Oh, you are quite popular here. Oh, thanks. Well, I love the Albanians anyway. Love you guys. I have been suffering the last 4 months by chronic anxiety and panic attacks. Well, there's those nerve rings, sweetheart. You got nerve rings, meaning your myelin sheaths are chronic. And that's low autonomic nerve response and low neurotransmitter production by your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. And you're showing, your kidneys are not happy little fellas. So we got to get everybody happy and opened up. And happy is energy. When you have low energy, you're not happy, are you? Just low energy. Well, why do we eat cooked food? Because they take our energy out of us. They don't make us happy. They do emotionally, maybe. Or if you get someone like Indian food that goes, yummy, 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 and then it hits you, bam! Oh, tasted good, but oh my God. But that's why. And I would work with the detox protocols like you see in the kits, but also add nerve power. That is somewhat of a tonic as well, adaptogen, which strengthens the neurological system. Those adrenal glands will perk up neurotransmitters, will help to that myelin sheath transportation. All of that will help perk you up and get that nervous system up. But anxiety comes right out because it affects your breathing subconsciously. Breathing is an autonomic experience. Lose the autonomic system and you're freaking out because you can't breathe. You have to consciously remember to breathe. I had a horrible 3 years of that. Panic attacks, oh, absolutely. Related with absolutely. That's your adrenal glands. But then, look what else that's involved. It's involved in sugar metabolism. It's involved in your estrogen, testosterone, progesterones. It's in aldesterones. It's involved in your mineral utilization or mineral corticosteroids like zinc and selenium and iron, all of that. you probably go on all day about those sweetheart adrenal glands, but your sodium-potassium balance of your kidneys are key as well, because when the adrenals are down, you don't filter. We've seen that in clinical practice over and over again. I've worked on people's adrenals. They hadn't filter, they try. We keep working on the adrenals and pop. So having that sodium-potassium balance is key to that sort of thing as well. She was born with an aneurysm of the septum. Well, again, we start looking at these things. You're going to look at parathyroid. Now, you got a pituitary involvement, no question. I can see a little parathyroid. The eyes are just not good enough to get into that. And so no. So, but you know that your connective tissue is one thing you want to think about. And for me, when you see aneurysms, herniations, hemorrhoids, any type of connective tissue weakness, you want to go out to parathyroid, and I always recommend the parathyroid glandular for that, because we don't know. Again, a lot of even educators think that parathyroids are insignificant. Really? Try utilizing calcium without them. What the doctors told me that it's totally safe to have it, and it's not going to affect your life. Well, when doctors start talking like that, and let's just define doctors, because there's a lot of doctors in this world, medical doctors, I would take that with a grain of salt, let's just say. These guys, I can't tell you how many times they've told one of my patients it's insignificant, and they end up with some serious problems from it. So not to scare you or anything, but it's just that get yourself healthy. Focus on your health. Focus on your problems. Again, remember we talked about that in obesity. You don't tell yourself you're obese or you're fat or whatever. You don't tell yourself that because you're making yourself that way by telling yourself that way. No. You rechange your focus. So your focus is health. I'm going to get my body healthy. My nervous system's down. I get anxieties from it, and subconsciously breathing, and that throws you into, some real anxieties, panic attacks, stuff like that, phobias. And just go after the health of your body, because you're learning now how to get healthy. And you have to do that. And it means you have to eat more like a Homo sapien than like a billy goat. And even a billy goat's not considered an omnivore, but he acts like one. We're not bears, hogs, dogs, birds. Humans are not like that. We're primates. Those are frugivores. So we can cross and eat some of the herbivore food, but we don't have the breakdown and grinding and digestive ability and compartments in the stomach that herbivores have. You can argue that all day long. As people talk about vegetarianism, it's like, really? We're not herbivores. We're not horses and elephants and cows and stuff like that, are we? No. These animals get real big. My sister trained horses for barrel racing, and these guys can get big. During the 4-month period of time, I have had pain in my chest, and I've lived with constant fear of having a heart attack or dying by it. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's start going after your health, sweetheart. And let's get focusing on the right foods to eat, right? So if you're serious about this, you go all raw. Hey, winter time too, you got to go all raw. And if you go all fruits, berries, and melons, it's even a higher level of healing than adding a salad a day. But if you want to add a salad a day, okay. Once in a blue moon, a soup like a carrot soup or a veggie soup or something like that. But you water-based stuff like this. You don't use any animal products, anything like that. And, but when you break down cooked food, you break down the enzymes, you reform its chemistry, and so it's not the same food. But again, it takes energy out of you. Well, you have nerve rings all over the place. Anything that takes energy out of you, not going to be a good thing. And protein would be a huge no-no in your life. I can't even go outside due to the fear that I am outside. Maybe something can happen to me. Yeah, you need to really strengthen your nervous system. And that, again, is coming out of your adrenal glands sitting on top of your kidneys. Your eyes are just loaded with these nerve rings. So go after that. I have had different tests on the hospital, such as the echocardiogram, EKG, stress test. I get it. I did all those things in the hospital. I did all those tests on people. And a Holter monitor. Yep, done a lot of those too. All of them were good. So don't worry about that, But I know it's hard not to worry when your nervous system, your worry system is down. Yeah. And you just start strengthening yourself up, sweetie. Test for my hormones and cholesterol, diabetes, iron, vitamin D, full blood test, and all of them were pretty good as well. Well, good. You're just looking in the eye of what's going on in the tissues of the eye, and lymphatically, you've got yourself backed up a little bit. So all of that. Okay, Andrea, update. I've had 2 months now on fruits, 80%, and some homemade food. No dairy, no eggs, and a little bit of meat, maybe once a week. I have started to feel better and going out. Not back to normal yet, but I am trying to relax and keep going. Still have some fear that something is wrong with my heart. Difficult with these eye picks to get right in there because that light that shines on that left eye is right at the heart area. If you do fear this, take the heart formula. That heart formula I designed for weakness in the heart tissues. Keep working like this. Clean and strengthen, detox and strengthen, hydrate and strengthen. They all mean the same thing. That's all you can do is strengthen your body up, and you're going down that road, sweetheart. You're doing good. You're going down that road, and that's a new road for people. Well, good. Life is boring. Go down a new road, an exciting road to health and vitality. Heck yeah. Why not? And strengthen. Use the herbs, because herbs are there to strengthen. Foods too. I mean, no question about it. And fruits really strengthen the neurological system, no question about it. And I don't know if there is fear or intuition. Yeah, maybe fear. I mean, that's where that's a good point, is spiritually, if you're working on your spiritual side, you have to determine, is that intuitiveness or is that fear-based? And that's a good question, Sometimes a lot of intuition is fear-based. So that's a good question, working on yourself spiritually like that. Working on yourself spiritually, though, you start detaching from the physical body, because it's just an embodiment that you're using. It's just your car. And it's like a car. If you have a weak part, you replace it. Well, you replace it by regenerating it. And the body regenerates itself. Your car parts don't have that ability to do that, but your human body does. Nevertheless, I don't have any more pain in my left or medium or right chest. Perfect. And just keep on going with that. Clean and strengthen. Alkalize and strengthen. Hydrate and strengthen. Also, no pain in my left arm. Thank God. They come and go mostly when I am anxious. Lots of. Okay. Again, you have a really weak nervous system. But you're on the road to Wellville, sweetheart. You're pulling yourself out of Hellville and going down the road to Wellville. I love it. That's all we can do. Medically, you see where they go. So, here you have a path to wellness. You have a path to remedy. Okay. All right. Oh my God. I don't know how to pronounce your name. This is a female. I can't even pronounce it. Athanasios. And then in parentheses, it's Sakis. I'm not good at that. She's from Greece. 73. All right, lady. 5'1". So immediately, sweetheart, you know you've got a pituitary problem. You made it to 73. That's good. How many kids have you had? She weighs only 99 pounds. She's got constipation, weight loss, appetite loss. Oh, she gave me a picture of her eye. Oh, now look at this. This is a nice picture. To show you this picture, it's difficult to read, but with the right light, and you can read it. But look how with the right light, how you can look at that. Look how much easier that is to read. Isn't that nice? So we'll look at these deep craters and see what's going on with her. But you see this up here? This is poor circulation up in the brain. She is 73, but this is poor circulation in the brain. A violet hue, but also a little bit of cholesterol buildup up in the head area. And always at 73, you're going to work on what? Kidneys. Always going to work on kidneys. All right. So, hello, Dr. Morse. I'm writing to you because I believe you are a gift from God. Oh, thanks, honey. Thank you. I'm trying to help my mom. Wow! Is this your mom we're talking about, 73? 2 years ago, she had an intestine polyp and her gallbladder removed. You know, that's what I love about naturopathy. We fix things instead of remove things, right? Since then, she is in pain in her stomach and bowels. Oh, yeah, I bet. And this is especially because, remember, a surgeon's trying to help out. They don't know. The problem is you should always try first to regenerate that tissue, pull the acid and the lymph out of that area, and then there will be no pain. All that will repair itself, and you still have the tissue. If you can't fix it our way, you're in serious trouble. I've always said that if I can't fix you, you're in trouble. And allopathy can't either, only by surgery. You know, so I don't know where you were on that side of it. She is losing weight because she's malabsorbed. When you see a polyp on your intestinal wall, what is that? It's a little tumor. What system does your tumors, polyps, and all these things come from? Blood? No, your lymphatic system. So it's her lymphatic system. That's why she had to have it removed in the first place. And your gallbladder is a main lymphatic organ. So she's having trouble with her lymphatic system, no question about that. And that's what you have to work on her. Get her kidneys, especially if this is your mom at 73, then you want, if this is not, and this is you, your mom has to be in the 90s, right? But irregardless, kidney filtration, the older you get, the more you want to see it. Because you don't have the time that the younger people have, and you don't even want the younger people to have that. But as you get older and the kidneys fail even more, you know, that's what kills the older people's kidney failure. Plain and simple. Whether you translate it into a congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema, it doesn't matter. And the weight loss is she's malabsorbed. She's malabsorbed. They haven't fixed anything. And that's the problem with surgery. You have to realize with surgeons, they can only remove a part, hunk of tissue, whatever. They can't fix the problems. Only you can fix the problems and understanding what the problem is and how you got it. Well, the body's made of what? Roughly 100 trillion cells and two major fluids that take care of the cells. Blood and kitchen and sewer system lymph. I don't think there's anything much simpler than that. There's only two sides of chemistry and two major fluids, huh? So the blood we know can't deal with the acid side of chemistry. No. We all know that factually, right? So it's the electrical, the electron dominant side of chemistry, essential. That's why your foods going into that system has to be electrical, has to be electron dominant, which is your alkaline foods. You don't put acid foods in your kitchen, but we do, and proteins are acid foods, beans, grains, dead animal meat, stuff like that. So your sewer system is the other side of chemistry, the acid side of chemistry. It's that simple. That's simple. And your kidneys must be able to eliminate acids. You don't, as we've been talking over these last few weeks, you don't recirculate acids in the body. That's not an intelligent theory from physiology. Not intelligent theory whatsoever. She's lost her will to live. Right now she don't want to eat anything. And 2 weeks ago I started to give her your superfood blend and the following herbs. That's a smart idea, actually. Sometimes I forget about that superfood blend, but read what's in there. I had forgotten that when I made that, I'd forgotten over the years what I put in there, and I read it the other day, and I'm going, damn, this is a good formula. But yeah, that's when you get someone like this, because as you get older like this, and you get in these states, you just lose the ability to eat. You almost virtually kill yourself. But it's also a way the body uses it as a semi-fasting state. You're pulling away from any food. It doesn't want to eat anything anymore. And it's kind of the way the body's saying, don't give me anything anymore. I would say this, try to get her excited about fruit and fruit juices, especially grape juice, a good tasting grape juice, fresh squeezed navel orange juice, something like this. Try to get her to, and feel that energy start to light her up and turn her back on again. Because as you get older, you're dying, you're on the downhill side. And the more acidic you are, that side is going down quicker. She's on lymphatic 1, urinary 1, bowels number 1, parasites, nerve power, blood, liver, blood mover, skeletal builder, and crampies. I love it. Perfect. That crampies, you wouldn't have to use that unless she was having seizures or cramps or spasms, things like that. And if she is, what do you want to think about? Parathyroid gland. The parathyroid is how you utilize calcium. So that's where you would want to think about that. And help her parathyroid gland out. Because what else deals with parathyroid? Calcium utilization, right? And if you don't utilize calcium properly, then as you get older, you lose your joints, everything sags, your skin wrinkles, all of this. What else? Unhappiness. We call it depression. And there's all levels of that. Just not happy anymore. Parathyroid gland. So get her the parathyroid glandular. Can't go wrong with it. It's only 10 milligrams, I think. Get the lighter one. Give her one in the morning and one in the evening. Go after that. The only one I see missing here is the endocrine gland formula. And skeletal builder needs to have a parathyroid gland in there as well to help that. Right? Please help to save my mom. What should I do if he doesn't want to eat anything, and how can I help her? Again, try to get her excited about electrical foods like the fruit juices, things that taste sweet and good, even if she just sips it. Also sipping tea. Does she like tea? We've got this good anti-acid tea coming, acid relief tea. We've got the kidney tea. We've got several teas. You might use the tea route a little bit. Depends if she's a teetotaler or not. You're from Greece, so, she might be a little tea person there. Thank you in advance. P.S. I sent you my mother's eyes, and the third photo is my right eye change in 11 months' time. These are my eyes. My right eye changed in 11 months. Wow! Did they ever? Holy crap! Old, new. Old, I think, new. But one thing is your craters are closing up. These deep craters you have are closing up pretty good. I like that. And you get to see a little more of your lymphatic system. A little more involvement there. Looks like you got some nerve rings going on there, sweetheart. Yeah, just a few. But look at your adrenals. You have chronic adrenals, but they're a lot less. I mean, you're really doing some good work on yourself. No question about it. Yeah, this is the way we go to gallbladder world. Honey, if your mom had her gallbladder removed, yours is coming. You've got to fix your gallbladder. That's a problemo. Yeah, your mom is, yeah, of course, it's been removed, right? Pancreas, there's another thing. Your mom doesn't digest well, so that can be a problem. That's another reason why fruit. Fruit is the easiest food on the planet besides melons to digest. You know, and when you have pancreatic problems, chances are people don't chew worth a hoot. You're not going to break down your foods properly. And then when your lymphatic system is a mess, you don't absorb properly, so you don't break them down properly, you don't absorb properly, you're going to get skinny bean. And everybody's freaking out that you're too skinny, and then they blame diets and stuff like that. No. But here is a pancreatic issue going on here. Right kidney for sure, right adrenal gland, also parathyroid. Yep, I guessed it, right on. Parathyroid or upper femur of her right side is involved. She's got some bronchial trunk involvement a little bit here on the right side. Left side, again, more kidney, more adrenal. She got the nerve rings, a few of them, of course. But both of you have the gallbladder. Ding dong, okay? She's got bladder as well. And this could be a little uteri as well. I submit she's got some spleen problems too. But you can't worry about that, you know. You just go on and on about that. She's definitely pituitary. Huge pituitary weakness. She's got some back of the head here going up into the left back of the head here. You see this, and this is getting into the left ear cerebellum up in the brain area there, and that's pretty dark. And again, you see the cholesterol backing up here in the head area. So we want to be careful with that. Blood mover was smart. Matter of fact, this is a smart protocol you put together. You lack the endocrine glands, vital in her case. That's the only other one I can say. The cramp ease is basically going to be a stat need type of formula. You don't have to give that to her all the time. That's like an emergency. Headaches and seizures and spasms and stuff like that. The only thing I could add to that, again, would be a parathyroid glandular. And with you, be thinking about your liver gallbladder. This is a great protocol. And when you look at this, what we do as you go up the kits is we go up the levels on the lymph and levels of the kidneys. We don't use parasites after the first 2 weeks, because if you see them, you need to get the kit, the side kit of parasites. We don't try to keep you on anything like that. If you have a lot of fungal problems, then you jump to the fungal one, that sort of thing. Nerve power, smart choice. Liver is really smart, especially for you too, sweetheart. Really smart to use there. Try to get her excited about tasty fruit juices and stuff like that. But she's not. I see chronic pancreatic problems too. And so that's why she needs to eat lighter foods. Easy to digest, give her more energy, won't take it away from her. Again, you have to realize that most of the foods that humans eat take your energy away from you. They don't give you that. And proteins are only stimulated energy, not dynamic ATP energy. That comes from sugars. Proteins actually suck energy from you if it wasn't for the stimulation that they give you. It's you know, you look at these Naked and Afraid shows, those big protein eaters and the big guys, they don't last long. They got to have dead animals or they don't have any energy. Well, I have news for you. The body doesn't burn protein for energy. No, that's a misnomer. Is that a little cutie? Simona Teta. I cannot pronounce that. She's from Australia. She's a female. She's 11 years old. She weighs 4.57 and her height is 63. Over Crohn's. Okay. Bowels. Trying to poop through about that big. Someone else. My daughter has just come out of hospital diagnosed with Crohn's. She is on a liquid diet to reset her gut. Once we can reintroduce foods, can we help me understand what will help her condition? She is having a lot of limb pain at the moment. All right, so you got to get her on fruit diet. That's, again, the easiest to digest, and you can juice it if you want, take all the fiber out if you want, but you really could use some fiber for that gut. But this is electrical fiber. When you have Crohn's or anything diagnosed like that, IBS, anything like that, that's interstitial. All right, so we have a bowel formula excellent for that. If she's not moving her bowels on a normal basis, then you have to look at what number of our bowel formula you need. But it enhances, anti-inflammatory, heals. But you have to think internally. As you go down through this intestinal wall, you're not inside the body yet, believe it or not. It might appear that this gut is inside, but not really, until you absorb through these fenestratic cells. Remember that? You're not getting your nutrition in. You're not working on your lymph. Your lymph coagulation. This would be, you ought to get a picture of her eyes. Get up a close picture of her eyes and send her to me. Just look at her. But her diet needs to be raw food. But with that said, vegetables are rougher on the body, especially with any type of intestinal or colon issues. Your fruits, berries, and your melons are your sweethearts. Berries tend to be a little on the acidic side, so I would stay with fruits and not your pineapples, not your acid fruits. Your grapes and grape juices. You get good grapes, they're sweet, your body craves that, easy to digest, easy to give their energy forth and pick her up with energy. They're acid, they're anti-inflammatory, even though inflammation is an immune response to acidosis. So they're antacids. Anything alkaline is an antacid, right? Only two sides of chemistry. But I submit to you, you want to work on her kidneys, her adrenal glands. You want to see your young daughter filter, especially if she has Crohn's. I was ABC or Fox News broadcaster's wife down the way here in Fort Myers. Had Crohn's so bad, she couldn't poop hardly. And I had her on, I think she was, I remember it had to be 10 to 20 bowel formulas, our top ones to get her to poop. But because they can close off. Swelling is a lymphatic experience. Just remember that. Swelling is a lymphatic experience. It's acidosis. And the only way to correct it properly is inside, interstitially of the body. So you would work on this little girl's kidneys, her lymphatic system, her endocrine glands, the same thing you do in adults. She's 11 years old. She can handle it. Its dosages are always a little different. But our bowel formulas will be very good for this sort of problem. And again, if she's having trouble having a daily stool, that's what you want to get up with. Some people have IBS and things so bad they have way too much movement. You know, they don't have any time to digest. They have 11 or 12 bowel movements a day. So, however, but you got to work on her lymphatic system, because that's the problem, is the lymphatic system in the wall of her colon. But I can tell you it's in the wall of her small bowel as well. You don't have interstitial problems in the large intestine. It's also in the small bowel as well. And you have 22 foot of small bowel and only 5 of the colon. So that's very, very important to pull that pain out of there. Again, you could give her a tea. We have the stomach tea, which is antacid. We have our new acid relief tea due here Thursday. Highly recommend that. Give her a little tea. You're an Australian. A little tea there to help pull that acid out. Very help the bowel movements as well. So I highly recommend that. We have it in capsule coming as well. We also have it in glycerin. I'm not sure when the glycerins are due in, which a child like this might like the taste of glycerin a little better. But again, those are all antacids, anti-inflammatories. It'll reduce swelling, help the bowels move, help with pain, spasms, things like this. So excellent thing. The Herbal Kingdom offers so many great things to help us, so many great tools that we can use to help us. And so, yeah. All right. All right. So I think that I'm going to close it up for today. I've got a meeting due. And so I've got to attend that. I'm getting the meeting. So I think that this helped this little girl out, and she'll be fine. She's a sweet little thing, and she'll be fine. And that's another thing. We got to help our kids out like that. And they love the taste of fruits. So you would want to stay away from pineapples and acid oranges and anything acidic like that. Wouldn't be in the, that would not work. You know, and that's some of the problems that a lot of people, even with arthritis and stuff, this one lady was in, and she said, well, I went on fruit, but I felt a lot more pain. I said, what fruit did you go on? She said, well, pineapples and everything she was talking about was acidic. It's like, no. Nope. Got to be wise. But your grapes, your mangoes, these are really nice, sweet, beautiful fruits. You could do applesauce, but you would want to use your red, delicious, real sweet, ripe as possible. Peaches, pears, stuff like this, really soothing, full of nutrition, easy to digest, give their energy so she have plenty of energy, all of this sort of thing. What you don't do with GI tract problems is what? Proteins. You do proteins with GI tract problems, God help you. Love you guys. You know, take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next video, and it's always a pleasure to meet you when you come in the clinic here. So, love you guys, and keep on. I'm proud of each and every one of you.